Thank you for joining us today. Very special day today. We're a few days away from the 6th annual March Madness Beer Pong Tournament. Here with my host, not my host, but a host, Alec Paxett. Alec, welcome these people to what we got in store for them on the show today.
Welcome to our tape-delayed live recording. We're just going to run through the bracket. I know everyone's been highly anticipating where they're playing, where they're going, where is anybody going. We'll get to the bottom of that. We'll get to some players to watch, some sleepers, maybe even a couple guest appearances from some alumni. Yeah,
later on the show we'll hear from Chris Shreve, founder of the annual Beer Pong Tournament, as well as Nick Sowers, highly decorated player in the game. Young cat, but veteran skill.
All right, let's dive right in. First region, 21st and Cherry. Bridget Baker is hosting this region. It's the predominantly freshman team house.
Thanks again, Bridget, for letting us use your house. I know it is your house. We'll clean up. And look at the matchups here.
Let's start at the top. The one seed in this bracket is the lowest one seed, the fourth team in the tournament, if you will. Oaksterdam University, it looks like.
Oaksterdam University, and that's a new one this year. Previous years they weren't seeded as high. Alec, your thoughts on this?
I don't really know what happened here. Heck, it doesn't seem like they're really deserving of a one seed. We'll see if they can prevail in the freshman house, but I don't know. They're looking pretty weak.
We just haven't seen the consistency that we have with the other one seeds in the tournament. It'll be interesting, definitely. And CU Boulder, interesting matchup. I don't know much about them.
They're a couple sophomore girls. I haven't actually seen them play, but they could pose a threat. You always got to watch out for the girl teams to just go on a run.
Definitely. And we do have a couple teams here. Pose a threat, definitely. And we could see them going very far in the Final Four.
3 seed UCLA made the Final Four last year. They're always a threat to just make a Cinderella run. So we got a lot of strong 3 seeds this year, so we're going to be looking out for that as we go through the bracket.
And look out for the Young Bucks. Number 2 seed, United States University. Alexander Chicken Dow. A lot of heart in that kid.
Yeah,
a lot of heart in that kid. A bit reckless.
It's been quite a turnaround for him. Lost first round last year. Really didn't know anything, and this year he's helping organize the thing. So he's made quite a jump.
Yeah, last year he couldn't deal with the pressure. Apparently, he's made some adjustments. How to adjust the game, and we'll see where he goes this year in the tournament. Okay, and then
let's move on
into the
next house, 21st and Jeff.
21st and Jeff. This is a special house because number 2 seed, National Autonomous University of Mexico. Always strong performers. George Cook Cantu, great under pressure. The fire in that guy's eyes when he sees that last cup. It's just great player all around.
This is actually a special house for another reason. This is the 3rd year in a row that this venue has been a host for one of the regions. So to honor that, we threw in a lot of the returning alumni and veteran players in this house.
Definitely.
1 seed UNLV, founder of the tournament, Chris Shreve, 2-time champion.
The most decorated player in the beer pong tournament history, playing with Phil Parrish this year. We haven't seen him in the last few years. Also a seasoned vet. It'll be interesting to see whether they still got it. I heard, it doesn't really go away. It's like riding a bike, Alec.
That's true, but you got to watch out for those freshmen who've been practicing every day while they've been at the office.
Definitely. And let's see here. What other matchups do we have here?
Again with the 3 seed, Northern Arizona University.
Ooh.
A couple of veterans here, some 5th-year seniors. Travis Michael's really been practicing. His stroke looks very good, so watch out for that team to make a run.
Travis Michael is really hot when he's smoking up a little. And I don't mean that as in marijuana. I mean he gets really hot on the table. And we got a special appearance by Matthew Crumity. Just a legend at Seattle U. Because he's so bad. I'm kidding. Disregard that. He's actually a great player, close friend of mine. I've seen him play many times. Could be an upset. Could go either way on that first matchup there.
You gotta wonder, University of East Africa. That's our first team from Africa. That's a long way to travel. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Hank?
Yeah, well, when they contacted us about playing in the tournament, it was a huge deal. The international travel, the paperwork that had to be done for that. But they're committed. And part of the proceeds are going to the East African charity for East Africans, and it's going to be a special year for everyone involved. I'll tell you that much.
Definitely. Let's get on to our next region.
Yeah, this is a great one. Number 1 overall seed, Nick Sowers and Riley Tompkins, Seattle U playing their home court. What do you think?
To leave these guys at their own house is almost unfair. Nick Sowers is highly decorated, playing with a new partner this year though. So
right. Number 1 overall pick in the 2013 draft.
Yeah. We'll see what kind of environment they can create, or if the veterans will be thrown off by some young blood in their house.
Yeah. Nick Sowers, eager to play. Last year, lost second round to Taylor Bullible and Kendall Stanley. We'll see how that comes into play. Chip on his shoulder. University of Oregon, talking a lot of smack.
They really got after it in the weeks leading up to the tournament. But you gotta admire their competitive nature. They're really out to prove something, and they could have a shot. Although CUP, California University of Pennsylvania, is really looking good, and they could be a sleeper. Look to knock off the number 1 overall seed maybe in the second round.
Definitely. And
that is if they can get by those fiery Oregon girls.
Again, a couple alumni players. Kansas, the Jayhawks got Brendan Eklund, fifth-year senior, and AJ. That's AJ. Looking to be a good team this year. Make a run.
Let's move on to our final region. 20th and Cherry, hosted by Quentin. This house.
Shout out to Quentin. Quentin, thank you for all your help.
Thank you for this and this house. The lucky players in this region will be playing where the Final Four will be on Saturday night as well, so they get a little bit of a preview on what it's going to be like to play down there.
I'll see you there, Alec.
You better hope so.
I do.
Number 1 seed, Compton Community College. Now, they made a run. They made it to the championship last year, but we're getting word that there's an injury, and Pei is not going to be able to play in all the games.
Yeah, Pei will it's up in the air right now, Alec. If we see Pei at the tournament, it's going to be a game-time decision. Could spell disaster for Compton, but Justin Mukai assured us that his substitute partner, I believe he said they will wipe their house up.
Yeah,
I think that's what he said.
that was the terminology. You gotta hope Pei gets a chance to play.
Yeah, I really like to see that youngster out there doing his thing. Compton one time. All day. Another Mexican team here, Tec de Monterrey. Interesting,
That's,
playing on the...
Alan and Roberto, they're a surprise addition. They got seeded pretty high, and they're another sleeper that people might not know about, but could bring some senior experience and surprise some people.
Definitely. University of Washington, 2 sisters playing together, actually.
That's our only sibling team in the bracket.
And if you guys remember from last year, Kendall Stanley, fierce competitor, aggressive player, not playing with Taylor Bullible this year. We'll see.
That's an interesting move on their part. I'm not sure after knocking off the number 1 overall seed why you'd split up, but...
Definitely. But we will see Taylor Bullible in the same house. Or is that correct?
That is correct.
Michigan
State. And that is an interesting matchup. It is a all-soccer girl matchup. There should be some fire there, so look out for that.
Definitely. Taylor with her athletic abilities and Ava with the height advantage It's going to be an interesting game. Alyssa and Pratty, that duo, I understand they just came off a big win.
Yeah, word on the street is that Pratty won the soccer ball beer pong tournament, which we're not sure what the competition was like, but if you can win, you can win, and they might carry that confidence into the tournament.
Okay, I'm excited to watch.
Let's move on. We got our first guest appearance from founder Chris Shreve.
Chris Shreve on the phone. Chris?
Hello? Hi, okay, and now we go to Christopher Shreve. For those of you who don't know Chris Shreve, former NCAA commissioner, two-time national champion, most decorated student in SU history. Recently, his absence in the last year's tournament, I don't know if that'll affect his performance this year, but he's making a comeback. Former Pack House Member of the Year, and also sings the chorus on Hitting It Right. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Hank. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. We missed you last year in the tournament, but this is a big year for you. Making a comeback, looking to make a run with a new partner, I understand, right?
Yeah, new partner. I was unfortunate couldn't make it last year. But this year going to change things up. Going with a veteran partner of mine, Phil, and we're ready to make a comeback. Hey, MJ left for a while and he came back, right?
Right. And Phil Parrish hasn't stepped foot on in a pong tournament environment in what has it been 2-3 years now? What is that? Am I right?
It's been a couple of years, but I have faith that the crafty veteran will be able to handle the pressure, handle all of the odds that are against the old vets going into this year.
Right, and experience is everything. Which you guys lost to Mexico in the Elite Eight 2 years ago. I know that was a tough loss for you. Tell me how that comes into play as well as your back injury. Is it going to affect your performance at all this year? What are the big steps that you've been taking to kind of keep yourself in check and mentally prepare for this?
Well, first off, the loss against Universidad de Mexico a couple of years ago was tough because it was in my own home. We held the region at the Pack House. Going up against two other Pack House members was difficult. The back injury does play a role. This year I feel like I'm healthy. Been doing some physical therapy, some hot yoga, really stretching back muscles out, and feeling good.
Okay. Just one last. I just want to get your point of view on this. This is a young year for the tournament, and a lot of people coming in here. I believe someone had a quote about. I can't actually remember it off the top of my head, but the pressure is intense. A lot of people yelling in your face and people grabbing you where you shouldn't be grabbed. It's a live environment. What is your advice to that? How do you keep cool under pressure?
Well, that's where you separate the men from the boys or the women from the girls. It's in crunch time. It's when you're staring eye to eye with your opponent and you each got one cup. It's who can handle the pressure in terms of what you can do to prepare. It's just practice. Allen Iverson once said practice, but I disagree with him. I believe that practice is where you come up against those tough times and adversity, and it'll show. I believe that the veterans will show up this year. And I predict that you'll see two teams with former Pack House members in the Final Four.
Okay, it's all about the four guys and the two cups,
It is.
That's what it comes
Agreed.
down to. Or
Agreed.
two guys and then two girls and then two cups. Or, I don't think we have any mixed gender teams this year, but it's going to be a big year.
It is. Well, I have to commend the committee this year for great things. I believe it's the fastest that we've filled up the tournament in any given year. And here the houses, the hosts, the regions are great this year, and so I'm excited for Friday.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris. Again, former founder of the NCAA Championship Tournament. Thank you, Chris, for being on the air with us today, and hope to see you in the Final Four.
No problem. Go UNLV.
All right.
All right.
So great words from Chris there. We'll see how he fares in the tournament. Let's move on to some players to watch.
Players to watch, definitely. Nick Sowers, always a strong presence out there on the.
As we mentioned earlier, part of the #1 overall seed, Seattle U Redhawks. Travis Michaels, really, he's been practicing hard, and you gotta admire that dedication, especially from a fifth-year senior. Usually, they like to shrug it off and just think they can walk into the tournament. Usually they can, but he's just making sure that they're not going to be overlooked. Watch out for NAU.
Yeah, really strong players this year. We got a diversity of age here. Sowers, a senior, Travis, a fifth-year senior, and then we have Alexander Chicken Dow. Last year, terrible performance in the tournament.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. He was hitting people in the face with shots, shanking them off the side of the table. He really worked hard. He put in the hours over the summer, just turned everything around, and now he is a force to be reckoned with. I'm not sure if anyone's practiced as hard as him.
Definitely. And one I'm proud to see up here, George Cook Cantu, my partner for the last 3 years. Just, a great player. Streaky at times, but when this guy gets hot, he gets hot, Alec. I'm telling you, he wants it.
I've seen them in action. They have an interesting team chemistry. So they really like to get angry at each other, which isn't most people's philosophy, but it really gets George going, and he can just go on runs with his eyes closed. It's something to see.
Yeah. Okay, well, with these players, and the teams and the matchups that we have, it's going to be really dynamic here, Alec.
I think we have Nick Sowers on the phone now.
Sowers.
Hi, Nick. Glad you could join us on the show today. We're just here doing the selection show. We got some questions for you. First of all, for those of you who don't know, Nicholas Sowers, two Final Four appearances in the last 4 years, one-time national championship. Recently, Evan Ewing, his previous partner and former champion, was dismissed from the team for academic purposes. Currently, Sowers went through the biggest recruiting class of 2013. Riley Tompkins overall #1 pick, 5-star recruit. Sowers, what are your thoughts for the tournament this year? There's a lot of young bucks, a lot of people who have something to prove. What can you say about that?
I think it's been a slow year on the beer pong circuit. I haven't been to many house parties, so I'm not really sure. I just know that I'm got a national championship belt, a couple banners hanging up on my wall. I don't know a lot of these young bucks who have that, and I just don't think they're ready for the competition.
And Sowers, big year for you. Having something to prove, chip on your shoulder last year. Last year's loss in the second round to Taylor Volleyball and Kendall Stanley in 3 turns. What were your thoughts? I mean, did you guys play bad? What was the team chemistry wasn't there? Or was your heart just not in it? What was going on there?
We had a lot of different things going through our lives at that point. It was a lot of trials and tribulations for Seattle U. I know Evan Ewing took the loss especially hard. His life kind of went into a downward spiral after that. He didn't really wake up for class. A lot of time spent in his bed. It was tough. He didn't shower for weeks. He grew a large beard. Some people thought he looked homeless, but he did have a home, and he's at a new chapter in his life this year, and I wish the best for Evan Ewing, but I think we're better this year with Riley Tompkins. I really do. The big cat. He's a proven player, and he's ready to snap some necks and cash some checks. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, it's looking to be a promising year for you. Despite the loss last year, you're still #1 overall seed. Company really feels that you have proven yourself throughout the years. Home court advantage too. Tell me about your setup. Is that going to have an effect mentally? A psychological game, especially for the younger players going into the tournament.
Well, I will tell you right now, the Seattle U home court does have some distractions. I'm not gonna name those right now, but there are some definite home field advantage. We have a lot of crazy fans. Maybe not quite like it was freshman year. I know there are some kids who can vouch for that there are some derogatory terms being swung against some teammates. And, I don't think that'll be. I think it's a lot more a friendly atmosphere, but there definitely will be some distractions. Absolutely.
All right, Sowers. I look forward to seeing you in the tournament, hopefully in the Final Four. It's going to be a great year for all the teams participating. I wish you the best in the tournament. See you out there on the big screen, all right?
I wish you the best of luck too, sir.
Okay, thank you, Nick. As always, sleeper teams, underdogs.
Just those that you overlook. First, Alabama. That's Sarah Boysen and Marie Francis.
Yeah, definitely. This year at the official training facility for the 6th annual beer pong tournament at the Epic Condominiums, Sarah Boysen and Anne Marie have, little practice, but they were putting in work. I did receive reports from Alexander Chickendow earlier that they were doing some heavy work on the beer pong table. So it'll be exciting to see their first round matchup against UNC. A lot of interesting feelings in that.
That's an interesting dynamic there, Heck. I believe that it's a girlfriend against her boyfriend.
Definitely.
So look out for that. Duke, Preston Matchett, Rob Sibley. Rob's my roommate. Now, these two don't play a lot, and they're very streaky. But having said that, when they get on their streak, they're almost unstoppable. I watched them clean a whole table last week in one turn, and I watched them both troll. So you never know what you're going to get, but if you get the best, I'm not sure they can be stopped.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see with Preston's back injury, how will that affect his play now?
That's true. He's really been struggling with his back lately. Had surgery last year after the tournament. We'll see if he can get into a rhythm. If he stays loose, you really got to watch out. But if something happens, like last year, the baseball house got delayed 4 or 5 hours. I'm not sure if he can stay warm and keep his stroke ready.
Yeah, it's all about the stroke, Al.
That's true.
Yeah. University of Eastern Africa, again, jet lag will come into play, but, when these girls get going, do they get going?
They really get going.
Okay.
You got to watch out. If they're coming all the way from Africa, just
something to prove.
They really have something to prove. They're going to have a bullseye on their back.
And again, California, University of Pennsylvania Cup, as is the
abbreviation. I think is what he's looking for.
Yes, that's the word. Thank you, Alex.
But you got to watch out for these guys. We haven't seen them play. We've heard great things, and I think that the Cup abbreviation was no coincidence.
Definitely. Okay, and now for our first round matchups to watch. Oregon talking smack. I believe, the quote was, "Fuck all y'all." And, CUP, a team to watch. I mean, what's this?
This is going to be a really heated matchup. Not only here, but I believe both teams are going to have some trouble the next round. So the winner of this is not off the hook. They'll be playing overall number 1 seed CLU. So that section of the bracket, there's a lot of animosity. There's going to be a lot of emotion. It's what you love to see.
Yeah, Texas and Cordon Bleu. Now this is interesting because Matthew Cremedy, veteran in the game, playing with Alex Swab. Very streaky, Alec. Cordon Bleu, however, I have not seen them play.
That's our freshman team. This is a 5-12 game, Texas being the 5 seed. There's always those 12-5 upsets. You got to watch out for that. Just happens every year. You got to watch out for this game. Randall, just coming out of nowhere.
Randall's hot.
Freshman.
He's coming in hot.
He's coming in hot.
Michigan State, Nevada Reno. Tell me about this one, Alec. What are your thoughts here? There's a lot of, these girls play together on the soccer field, but what's the dynamic going to be like when they have to face each other?
I mean, you can only imagine. But
it's going to be fierce.
These girls really get after it. I don't know if you've ever watched a college soccer game, but there's really no rules.
No rules at all. And distractions are fair game.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not even the only soccer girls in the house, so we'll see which side the fans take in that region.
When those soccer girls get together, I'll tell you something, Alec. It's up in the air.
Anything can happen. And our last first-round matchup to watch, North Carolina against Alabama. Covered this a little bit. There's a little tension here. Sarah Boysen playing Chris Blackout.
Christopher Blackout Diakuski, making his appearance with Paul Garrison again this year. I thought someone was walking into the studio here.
Not sure how many years that is for them, but they've been around for a while. A solid alumni team, definitely proven track record. But we'll see how this matchup might throw their game.
Indeed we will. Indeed we will, Alec. And now we're going to go to darkness. That's where everybody blacks out. The end.
That's it. Check the link. We'll have the full bracket up. Make sure you know where you stand, know where you're going. And now I think we got a word from our producer.
Yeah, producer?
I don't know a word.
You have a word.
He doesn't have a word.
He doesn't have a word, man. He doesn't want it.
See my words in the tournament.